Here's something that I was talking to somebody about probably about a year ago in a podcast interview. When I explained how I look at, setting up my year and how I unroll things, the way that I do it, once you understand how to do this, it makes a lot more sense, and it's going to give your whole year a better rhythm. You're going to accomplish a lot more, so much easier once you understand how to do this. So I'm going to share that with you so that you can start to really start moving forward in the direction of your dreams with a lot more ease and grace. I'm telling you, it really works. So what I'm talking about is when we're setting up our year, we always set up our year January 1st. And January 1st is like the customary new year. It's when everything begins and the old year ends. But in reality, if you look at just the way that nature works, the winter is the dead time. So in the dead time, how do you launch new things? How do you grow new things? Nothing can grow in the dead time. And so what I was explaining in the podcast was that when I start to look at my new year and what I want to do, my dead time, January, February, even going a little bit into March, that's the time where I'm not doing anything. All I'm doing really in that time is kind of learning and planning and developing things to launch in the spring. Because in the spring, that's when everything comes back to life. Things start to grow. So your energy also starts to grow in the spring. In the winter, that's when you have the least amount of energy, the least amount of ambition, you have the least amount of light, of daylight. So you just feel dragging, and everything's a struggle. Everything's hard in the wintertime. Because the wintertime, you're not supposed to do too much. The bears hibernate. They hibernate for a reason. They don't even bother staying awake for the winter. There's nothing for them to do in the winter. But we are in this habit of thinking January is in the new year. We got to kick everything off in January. And it's the hardest time to start anything new. So that's why New Year's resolutions don't work. That's why fitness programs never last. Anything that you try to do in January, you're almost always going to defeat yourself by trying it then. But once you start to realize that April, May, June, that's the time to start launching new things. Because every month, every week, starting in April, we're getting more daylight every week. We get more energy and more excitement, and things are starting to happen. Everybody starts to come out of their house. You see people walking their dogs. You see people out washing their cars. You just see, the whole North America comes back to life in April. And then as you go into May, and really things start to blossom, so does all the things that you're starting to create, your creative ideas, all the things that you're trying to launch, they all start to really take off in May. And then when you get into summer is where we have the maximum energy. And a lot of people, they take the summer off, they go on vacation, they do all these different things. But if you stick to, doing what you're doing, what you launched in spring, and you really develop it in the summer, you're going to have a really successful year. And then as you get into September, that's the time to look at what's working, what didn't work, what kind of things you would like to tweak for next year. And you kind of celebrate. You celebrate all the success that you've had. Then as you get into January, that's the time to relax. It's the time to relax. All the things that you had built up, they still have some momentum. But anything new that you want to do, you plan and you develop it January, February, even into March. Sometimes depending on the year, depending on the climate, like this year, really launching things even in March wasn't a great idea because there was so much turmoil going on. There's so much economic turmoil, countries fighting with each other. So many things going on right now. It's not a good environment to launch a new product in March. But now we're getting into April, getting into May. By the time you see this video, we're going to be probably deep into May. It's the perfect time to really be launching your things and reaching out to people and starting to, build your business, build whatever it is that you're trying to do. You're going to be so much more successful if you follow that pattern, that routine, and you get into the rhythm the same way nature flows, that's the same way that your energy flows, that's the same way that your ideas flow, that's the same way that your creative, products are going to blossom. So start following your year as the seasons change. So spring is really the beginning of the year, not January. January is the worst time to start anything. Spring, like I'm saying, April, May, June, that's the best time to start things. You're going to have so much more success and enthusiasm for yourself and for the people that you're trying to serve, you're trying to help. So that's what I wanted to talk to you about in this. It's just a quick little video. But guess what? I told you I'm doing segments. So I have another segment, some more insight to give you, some more knowledge to share with you. So don't stop watching yet, because we're not done. We're only halfway there. I'm about to give you some real knowledge. Here's a little technique, a little trick that I use whenever I find that things are getting a little too crazy, when I find that there's too much hostility in the world, in social media, just in general. I like to take a little break, a little time out, where I just, I put the phone aside. I don't check out any of the political stuff on YouTube. I really just kind of curate my experience in the environment, my experience in life. I curate it to filter out all the crazy stuff. Not for a long time, but I might do that for a week or two. If the times and the tension is really, really high, really elevated to the point where it's a distraction, I'll just take a time out and take myself away from all the craziness, because what I find is that a lot of the things that you see, especially in politics, a lot of the things that you see, they're not even real. It's somebody who posts something and it'll be manipulated to make you think a certain way, to work on your emotions a certain way. But later on, you'll find out it wasn't real. And some of the things that even the person is saying that is real, they're lying. They're not telling the truth. They're telling you what you want to hear at the time, but it's not really what they're going to do. So for me, to spend too much time and energy in that kind of emotion, in that kind of environment, I find it very distracting, very draining. And times like now, when we're in the spring, we're going into the summer, that's the time for creativity, like what I talked about in the first segment. So I don't want distractions. I don't want things that are going to take away my creative energy, my creative capacity, because I'm spending it on things that are contentious and things that are troubling. So it's really important to really control your energy, control what you're looking at, what you're watching, control what you're consuming, especially in times where there's turmoil, and that turmoil is conflicting with your plan to move forward in the direction of your dreams. So that's what I always do, and I've done that more and more as I've really understood energy, mental capacity, and understood we only have a certain amount of creative time during the year where it's really optimal for us to be creative and to be able to launch new ideas and launch new things. And these distractions are really just that. And it's like, as long as you're aware and you stay away from that, you can keep moving forward and keep building your stuff while other people they're sidetracked. And it's almost like it gives you an unfair advantage, because you can just focus on the things that you want, focus on the things that you want to do and want to experience, and you're not worried about the other things like everybody else is. So that's what I wanted to share with you for this segment. Is really just that. Just take control of your energy, take control of your thoughts, take control of what you're consuming, and make sure that you're focused on the things that are going to help you move forward in the direction of your dreams. So that's it for this one. Got one more thing to give you, and then we're really completely done. So I guess I'm just going to end it here. I really need to work on better endings for some of these segments. All right. Hey, thanks for watching this video all the way to the very, very, very end. That's awesome. Go ahead and subscribe to this channel. Like this video and hit the bell button so you don't miss any other videos. And you can check out my website too, just like this dog is checking out my website. This dog knows. He knows where it's at. He knows he's going to get a lot of valuable information from my website. And I want to leave you with this final thought. Just think about this for a second. Right now, where you are right now, is the most important time for you. What happens later on, that's in the future. That's a possibility. But what's happening right now is the most important time. So be present in the moment. Be aware of what's working out for you. Be aware of what you're doing, what you're trying to do, and be aware of who's influencing you, who's controlling what you're thinking about, who's controlling how you're feeling, and make sure that you're the one that's in control of what you're thinking about, how you're feeling. Because this is the most important time in your life right now, the present moment. It always is. No matter what time of life you're in, the present moment is always the most important moment of your life. So I want to leave you with that, just to think about that. Make sure that, like I said, you subscribe to this channel. Check out some of the other videos. Got a lot of insightful videos. And some of the videos have these segments. Some of them don't. Check them out. See which ones you're going to find has these segments and which ones don't. So that's it for this one. That's all I got to say. And until next time, you heard? That's it. It's over. The video is actually done. I know you're still seeing some pictures, but the video itself is actually done. Like, there's no more insight that I'm going to drop on you. I gave you all the insight I'm going to give you for this video. If you want more insight, go check out some of the other videos. Because this one's done. That's it. It's over. It's done. All right.